Welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa. Get your education booklet in our daily newspaper, street sales, or at your school every Monday to Thursday for pre-primary up until grade 3. The lessons are for listening or watching online. Inside the newspapers, there is an insert of the lesson booklet. Please cut the top of the lesson booklet with a pair of scissors and fold it for ready to use. But there is more. We are also available on our online platforms, MyZone and Zoshi Facebook pages, and in addition, our website, Zoshi Online.
Hello everyone! Welcome to My Zone Online School. I'm Teacher Hartung and our theme for this week is the food chain and saving water. Now, speaking of saving water, let's sanitize. Remember, boys and girls, before we start our lesson, we always sanitize to make sure our hands are nice and clean. Now, let's see what we are going to learn about today. We'll do times tables, numbers, and geometry. For this part of our lesson, let's turn our booklets to page 12. On page 12, we have to do some multiplication. So here we have times tables. We have to fill in the blocks to complete the train sum. So there you will see you have sums and little blocks for the answer, which we have to further multiply or divide. Let's start with our train. Now, I have started with the train on the board, boys and girls, but I didn't complete it. I am going to leave the completion up to you. So, let's start quickly and see how you have to complete the train. So, the first sum is 2 times 5. So, we know by now that 2 times 5 is 5 and 5, which gives us 10. So, 2 times 5 equals 10. Now, we go further. We say 10. Remember, boys and girls, this is the answer that we got from our first sum. So we use this answer to further multiply or times by 5. So we say 10 times 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that's our answer. 10 times 5 equals 50. Now we have to go ahead and take 50 and divide it by 2. So, when we divide, it means we have to share. So, if we take 50 and we divide it in 2 parts, then we get the answer 25. So, we say 50 divided by 2 equals 25. Now we take this answer and we times 3. So if we say 25 times 3, we say 25 plus another 25 plus a third group of 25. And if you add up all your groups of 25, you get the number 75. Right, boys and girls, I have stopped my train here, but for you, it continues. So what you have to do is you have to look at the rest of the train and try and complete all the sums until you get to the end of your train. Right, now let's quickly go back to page 12 and see what else it is that we have to do here. In the next part of the lesson, it says you have to draw a line to match each sum with the correct answer in the middle. Now you will see you have sums on the left side and you have sums on the right side of the page. And then in the middle of the page, you have all the answers to these sums. So you have to look at the sum, find the answer in the middle, and then you have to draw a line to match the sum with the correct answer. Now you will see there one example have been done for you already. So 7 times 5 is 35. And there you will see a little arrow or line was drawn to connect the sum with the correct answer. Now everyone, I think you can do the rest all on your own. Please make sure that you look at the sum and then try and work out the sum. You can always make little groups and count to make sure you get to the right answer. And once you got all the answers to all the sums, you can take your pencils and draw a line to the correct answer in the middle. Now everyone, when you are done with your train and done with your lines, I want us to quickly move on to page 13. Now here we are going to do more numbers. So in the first part it says we have to round off. It says rounding off to the nearest 10. Now once again, boys and girls, rounding off is nothing new to you. So I'm sure you will have lots and lots of fun rounding off all these numbers. Let's quickly do 2 examples together. Now remember everyone, we are rounding off to the nearest 10. So let's look at the first number is the number 13. So we have to round off to the nearest 10. So remember 4 and lower than 4, and also consider 5 and more than 5. So here we have the number 3. It's lower than 4, which means the 1 stays the same, or the tens stays the same. And in this case, our tens will then be 10. So if we round off 13 to the nearest 10, it becomes 10. Let's try the number 27. So 27. We have to round off to the nearest 10. So remember, our tens stay the same if our units are 4 and less than 4, but it increases if our units are 5 and more than 5. So in this case, do you think our units is more? Can you see this is the number 7? So yes, it's more than 5, which means our tens will now increase. And if we round it off to the nearest 10, 27 will then become 30. There we go. Now everyone, I know you are so good at rounding off. So before you continue with all your rounding off sums, let's quickly look at the second part. What is it that we have to do? So there you have lots of blocks with lots of numbers. So it says you have to circle the biggest number and cross out the smallest number. So you have to do this per block. And by doing this, you are comparing numbers. I wrote one block on the board for you, so I want us to have a look and see which number is the smallest and which number is the biggest. So let's quickly have a look at our numbers. 150, 450, 500 and 100 again. So now that we have all the numbers, remember, what is it that we have to do with our numbers? If we quickly go back to page 13, let's quickly read one more time to see. In each block, you circle the biggest one and you cross out the smallest one. So let's quickly try and find the biggest number in this block on the board. So the biggest number, it's not 150. 450 is more than 150. So let's see, do we have any other number that is more than 450? Yes, indeed we do. And that is the number 500. Right. So we found the biggest number. So that means we have to go ahead and circle the biggest number. Now we have to find the smallest number. Can you quickly tell me which one is our smallest number? That's right, everyone. It's the number 100. Over here we have 150, which is more than 100. So now we go ahead and we cross out the smallest number. Right. You have a few more boxes that you have to either circle or cross out the biggest and smallest number. But before we continue to finish that activity, let's quickly look at the last part. Quickly go to page 13 in your booklets one more time. Now here we have to do some coloring. And here we have to look out for even numbers and odd numbers. So it says, color the even numbers blue and the odd numbers red. So remember, even numbers blue and odd numbers red. So the first number is the number 34. Can you tell me, is this an even number or an odd number? That's right, everyone. It's an even number. Now, can you tell me quickly, what color is it that we have to color our even numbers again? That's blue. Good job. Now, let's look at the next number. The number 45. Is 45 an even or an odd number? It's an odd number. Good job. So now you have to go ahead and color your odd number red. Now, boys and girls, I hope you will have lots of fun coloring your numbers and finishing all the other numbers. I will see you shortly after the ad break.
Follow us on MyZone Facebook Active Kids to watch your daily lesson and other fun activities with Zoe and Zoshi.
For this part of our lesson, boys and girls, let's start on page 14. Now here we are going to do some geometry. It says we have to use the map and key to complete the grid and answer the questions. Now on the page you will see there's a map, and right next to the map you have a key. You will see the key is also labeled key. Right. So the key means that each picture represents something. So there you see a tree, ice cream, a park bench, play area, a trash can, a fountain, and a bridge. And then in your grid, you will see all these different pictures in different blocks. Now I'm going to show you how you have to read your grid. Now on the board, I made a little grid, but unfortunately I couldn't draw all the pictures, so I went ahead and I just wrote in the keys. So when you have a grid, boys and girls, you have on one side all your numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you then also have all your letters A, B, C, D, and E at the bottom of your grid. Right, so all your numbers on the left side, you have to then match with all your letters at the bottom. And then each block on the grid will then have a number and a letter. Right. Now quickly back on page 14, you will see one example was done. It says you have to name the location of each item on the map. Right. So all the items are given to you there, the play area, the trash can, park bench, ice cream, fountain, and tree. So you have to go ahead and find the picture on the grid, and then you have to name the location. So there you will see the play areas locations have been given to you already. So you see there it says the play area location is B4 and E2. Now let's quickly find B4 to see if we find the play area. So remember B4. So we start with the letter. So over here we have the letter B. Right? So now we take B and we count 4 blocks up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there we have the play area labeled B4. So you go up with B and you are in the 4th row. Let's quickly find the second location of the other play area. So it said it's E2. Let's see. E, we see all the way over. There you have your letter E. Now it says E2, which means we have to count 2 blocks up. 1, 2. So E2. There we go. Now everyone, I'm going to try one more example with you and see if we can find, let's see, a bridge. So on the grid, where do we have the bridge? All the way over there. So now you look at the bridge and then we see, remember first the letter, then the number. So the bridge is E1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So E5 for the bridge, and that will then be the location for the bridge. Right. Now, before you continue with all your labeling and finding all the areas, let's quickly have a look at the last part of the activity. Now, back on page 14, way at the bottom it says, add the following items to the map key by drawing a picture and labeling them. Draw the items anywhere on the map and name the location. So everyone, you have to now go ahead and draw a picture of a restroom, bike trail, balloons and cotton candy. Right. Remember, you can draw your own items. And once you have drawn your items anywhere where you still have space on the grid, you can then also go ahead and label each item. Now remember everyone, the grid that I have on the board is similar to the one on your page. So you will see there are still lots of open spaces on your grid. So all those items you can go ahead and write it in or draw it in. Remember, draw it in any of the open spaces. And then you can go ahead and also find the location on the grid. And then you also go ahead and you write it down. Right. Now everyone, I hope you will have lots and lots of fun finishing this activity. Remember, try and do it all by yourself first, but if you have a problem, you can always ask someone for help. Right. Enjoy it, boys and girls. We will be back shortly after the ad break.
Do you have children in the age range of 5 to 6 years and want to participate in our school booklet program? Please contact us on 081 74 3759 and we will put you on our distribution list for the attention of pre-primary schools. Topics include family, summer, culture, traditions and houses, transport and communications, occupations, autumn and more. We distribute countrywide in over 10 different languages.
We came at the end of our lesson today, boys and girls. But before we say goodbye, you have to remember to sanitize. So remember everyone, sanitizing keeps our hands clean and all the germs away. Right. Now everyone, before we say goodbye, I asked my friend Zoshi to come and say bye with me. So, from Zoshi and I, we say goodbye.
Our online school will help you along the way. Find us at www.zoshi.online and download the booklet. Follow us on Facebook to never miss a video. Subscribe to our Zoshi Telegram channel if you want to receive daily updates. Proudly sponsored by the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, Namibian Community Trust, UNICEF, My Zone Online School, Amos Meerkat Syllabus, and Capricorn Foundation.